I'm a little late to the party. I know I should have been spoke on this, but I got a little caught up. But you know, um, they had the re-release thing, and that home trilogy made the least amount of money. And MCU fanboys are coming in saying, "Oh, the movie was recent. That's the reason why I couldn't make money." No, that's not the case. See, if you've been watching me for a minute, then you would know that nobody capped harder for these movies than MCU fanboys. And if you take MCU fanboys out of the equation, then you will see how many people actually hate these movies. They're not good. See, after No Way Home, I did you know, I compared all those movies and said which one was my favorite, but I broke my own code. I wanted to sympathize for those movies because I went too hard on them. But now I'm just going to be honest. They all sucked. They were all bad. And of all of them, Homecoming was the best one. And Homecoming was terrible. They all sucked. See, again, when I first watched Homecoming, well, leading up to me watching Homecoming, you know, MCU fanboys, they were saying, this movie is better than Spider-Man 2. This is the best Spider-Man movie of all time. So, I go into the movie with high expectations, obviously. And I'm just sitting here watching the movie and I'm just saying like, bro, am I watching a completely different movie, or like I was just so bored. And then like it wasn't even just that. Tom Holland and all his friends, like they were just so goddamn annoying. Especially when Ned found out he was Spider. Like, bro, it was so annoying. And then that Flash Thompson, I just could not take him seriously. Like, Flash is a very tall fellow, like 6'5", big guy, plays football. But the Flash Thompson they had in that movie, he was a nerd just like Peter Parker. And I'm just saying, like, I know you ain't talking. Like, he, to be honest with you, I think that even without powers, Peter could beat him up. Like, that Flash Thompson was terrible. And then he was Guatemalan, by the way. That shit was stupid, bro. Anyways, aside from that, you also in that first movie, they used Liz Ellen, a black Liz Ellen, as the love interest, and it was just so stale. Like it didn't like she didn't really even need to be there. We're being honest. And then another thing is that MCU fanboys, they love to talk about how intimidating that vulture scene was when they were in the car together. Bro, nothing is more intimidating than when fucking Green Goblin found out that Peter was Spider-Man when he saw blood. That shit was insane. But the vulture scene, like, it's terribly overrated. Like, bro, how is this guy intimidating me with a fucking gun when I literally have powers and I can punch his fucking head in? I can cave his face in. Like, bro, he's just a regular guy with a gun. And you're a superhuman. Like, how is that scene intimidating? Like, I don't get anything from, like, if Peter was a regular guy in that car, then I could see that. But he's a superhuman talking shit to a guy with just a gun. Like, I didn't get anything from that scene. It was so overrated. And then like, all three of these movies have something in common. It's always this Peter Parker fucking up and he has to fix it. That's the plot of all these movies. And then, these MCU fanboys, they come in saying, oh, this is how Spider-Man always is. They always want to blindly defend whatever they can. And then we get Far From Home. Now, to be honest, I didn't really think that Far From Home was as bad as, everybody was putting out. Honestly, I believe that No Way Home is just that bad. But I get into that in a second. But see, with Far From Home, like, see, it's movies like Far From Home that makes me feel like some movies should only be watched in a theater and never watched again after that. And I watched the movie, and like it was just so slow. Like, the see what all three of these movies have in common is that I watched them so little and then I never watched them again. Like, I haven't watched No Way Home since shit, like 2 years ago when it came out on DVD. Oh yeah, by the way, don't forget that Sony had falsely advertised that Blu-ray. By the way, I thank God I didn't get that. But anyways, that's what they all have in common. And going through Far From Home, I'm like, this Peter Parker is just so fucking terrible. It's ridiculous how he's so hyped up by these fanboys. And Mysterio carried that movie, and you know the movie doesn't really pick up until that last part, the final battle, and that's where it's worth watching. But I don't want to have to sit through this bore fest just to get to that. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. But if you want my honest opinion about it, like, Far From Home is a very forgivable movie. Like, to be honest, I keep forgetting that the movie even I forget that it even came out. That's how forgivable it is. And then you have this overhyped trash fest, No Way Home. See, I reference the movie a lot because it is terrible, but yet it is very overrated. Like, it always bugged me that people call Man of Steel trash, they call BVS trash, they call '03 Holt trash. Like, they want to call movies that are actually trying trash, but we get a movie that is legitimately terrible, and they hype this up like it's the best movie of all time. Like, bro, the movie had plot holes on plot holes and a lot of inconsistencies. Like, see, I was sympathizing in my review when I saw a movie. I was trying to be nice. But these are not good movies. And of all three of them, No Way Home is the worst. No Way Home got more shit, but yet it's the worst movie. The movie was made as a cash grab. They put absolutely no effort into this movie. And then a lot of the things that happened in the movie, I didn't feel anything from it because it was either fan service or a business decision. Like, him making everybody forget him, obviously a business decision. Like, I felt nothing for this movie. The only thing I felt was Toby being disrespected. Anyways, let me go back to the top. So, you get this movie after this trash Spider-Man keeps taking his mask off, and then he gets his identity revealed, and now he's trying to fix all that. And like, I'm just sitting here watching this movie. I'm like, it's another MCU Spider-Man movie that's starting off slow again. And then you get to that Doc Ock scene, and there were some cool parts. And then what really irritated me was the end, bro. The end. Here's another inconsistency. When Tom used that Bluetooth shit to take control of his arms, Doc Ock was saying, "Listen to me, listen to me." I get that there was a reference, but it made no fucking sense. Why is he saying that? When he said, "Listen to me," that was when he was taking control, when he was regaining control of his mind. And for him to say that while he is still under the influence of the arms, that that's literally that's a huge blow to his character, because what it's saying is that he was the one that came up with all the villainous shit, and that shit was trash. Like, they forcing in shit that makes no sense to be there, and it completely just lifts over everything that the foundation of these characters. And then you also have Electro somehow getting into the universe. I argue with many MCU fanboys about this. They never want to admit that they're wrong. Like, they will say that, oh, Harry probably told him before he had went to go fight Peter. Harry didn't tell him shit because Harry didn't even know that Peter was Spider-Man until he pulled up and saw Gwen with him. And then they want to say, oh, Gwen screamed out Peter's name. I'm like, bro, you have to know exactly who the person is for this shit to work. Electro did not know who he was. Electro was just thrown into the movie. And see, this is my thing. When they do shit like this, when they you know don't even write the shit all the way through, they know that these fanboys are going to come in and cap for this trash ass shit. So they're like, why should I put in more effort for this? It's fucking like it's ridiculous. And then you also have Sandman's character getting undone by going bad, going along the plan to attack Spider-Man. That made no fucking sense. On top of Spider-Man bringing all the villains to his fucking house. Again, I say this many times. These MCU fanboys, they want to pose as DC fans and saying, "That's not my Superman. Batman would never do that." But what about this? What about fucking Spider-Man bringing villains into his house? It's ridiculous. I have to bring that up every fucking time because they irritate my fucking nerves. But anyways, you also get that trash unmade death scene. Like, for all of a sudden she wants to fight villains and shit. Like, a lot of these scenes, they just don't really add up. Like, the movie is not good. And then that you bring those other Spider-Man in, and they don't even seem like themselves. It's more just their appearance that you got, not really their character. And the thing is, they were acting like they were already from the MCU. Like, that shit is trash. Especially Toby. I would never get over the fact that Toby said my best friend died in my arms after he tried to kill me. He would never fucking say that. That shit pissed me off. And then you had him getting stabbed by his own villain. What the hell was that, bro? And then, obviously MCU fanboys come in with their excuses. And, like, everything I said is just a rundown of how bad these movies are. They're not fucking good. Like, don't let these MCU fanboys lie to you. They're just not good movies. And I always said it before No Way Home even came out. I honestly enjoyed the Amazing Spider-Man movies way more than the Home trilogy. Like, I would rather watch the Amazing Spider-Man 2 over Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home. That's how much entertaining, how much better that movie was than those three movies. And, they run out the MCU hype and all that. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, and then another thing is that, like, again, they overhype No Way Home, but they call Spider-Man 3 trash. Honestly, I think that Spider-Man 3 and The Amazing Spider-Man 2 are better than that whole trilogy. And, that's just me getting at my point. That trilogy is trash. It's not good. Like, it's hard to watch. It's hard. It has no rewatchability. And, on top of that, like, honestly, I'm not interested in seeing a Spider-Man 4. Like, the plan was to have Tom Holland play as teenage Spider-Man, then they find another actor to play as the older Spider-Man, but instead they're like, nah, fuck it. And I'm not feeling none of that, especially bringing MJ back. She is such a bland love interest. Like, bro, in Far From Home, like, she was just so dead. No Way Home, they try to give her a little bit more emotion, but, like, it just, his friends would want to be so involved with his shit, and he'd be like, okay, you guys can come. Like, it's so, like, this is not Spider-Man, bro. He doesn't act like Spider-Man, but besides that, like, that's just how I feel about that trilogy. It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. It's seriously overrated.